Hello, and welcome back to Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. I'm your host, Jarvis. In the months since Empress Alea found out she was pregnant at Ortysia, she has travelled extensively throughout her domains. She travelled to Dunglanis, Manurath, Sionon, Varcheg, Revel, Epricatea, Diathema, Argeron, Amprella, and to Makeb. It was just outside of Makeb where the Empress finally gave birth to a child. The child's name was Adinea. Along her route, the Empress established an iron workshop in Epricatea, a velvet weavery in Amprella, a brewery in Varcheg, and 3 more smithies, one in Ortysia, one in Sionon, and one in Argeron. Along her journey, she was accompanied by her husband Meritor. Meritor is actually quite an interesting figure during the reign of Empress Alea. He was known to be a very social man, a fine leader of men, though not the greatest warrior in the land. He was exceptional at trading and bartering. The Empress, being from an impoverished noble family, was in many ways half a peasant. Even during her pregnancy, she would spend days smithing, much like her brother had. She would often make javelins, which could be sold at a great rate, for there were many who sought to buy goods that were handmade by such a high figure as the Empress. While none would call her a legendary smith, she was certainly skilled. None can deny that, and certainly outstripped many a smith in Calradia. Her husband, Meritor, fine negotiator that he was, would take many of his wife's finished works and sell them. There were many who said that he could even swindle a lord out of his castle with enough coin. In fact, for this very reason, the Empress took him along with her. She is hoping that she can gain the town of Ortysia from a certain vassal of her own. The vassal in question being Andros, formerly of the Northern Empire. However, that's a story for another time. With the birth of her new daughter, the Empress travelled to Makeb, where she participated in the local tournament. In the end, it is the Empress who wins the tournament. During the year of 1107, Unkid still remains the leader of the Aserai. Those who support Unkid suffer greatly during these years. The rebellions instigated against the Kharadic Empire go very poorly. In fact, the rebel leaders are so exhausted, the best they can do is perform raids against villages. King Kaladog still remains the ruler of Battania for the time being. His family has been fortunate enough not to have lost anyone during the Kharadian Civil War. However, the same cannot be said of his followers, who are few in number. The Khuzait had previously been ruled by Munchug. However, upon the death of Munchug, the ruling clan then became the Yansurit clan, and Taslur, the ruler of the clan, the head of the clan, became the new Khan of the Khuzait. The Khuzait numbers were dwindling. Many had fallen in the Kharadian Civil War. Many were still yet to fall. The Sturgeons had previously been led by Prince Ragenvad, who had been executed by Emperor Bartimus Vesuvian during the Kharadian Civil War. Ragenvad's son, Samir, succeeded his father as the ruler of the rebel Sturgeons. The last member of the Karakurgits serves the Sturgeon king, or prince, rather. During the Kharadian Civil War, the ruler of Vlandia had been King Derthat. However, Erdoran took his place. After the death of his father. Many clans still followed Erdoran. However, they were dwindling in numbers. All the rebels could do, as I have mentioned, is perform raids and attack caravans. While declared outlaws, they had no ability to collect more soldiers, no fiefs to call their own. To the Empress, it seemed as though these barbarian nations were likely to fall. In any case, I have more documents to look over. I will speak to you again after I've done a bit more research. Good day to you, friend. Ah, there you are. I've been going over some progress reports on the military affairs of the year 1107. Apparently, Empress Alea journeyed south to Odok and Akkalat, where she was making certain connections, largely to stamp out the steppe bandits and Kuzite rebels, who are largely in the vicinity of Odok. On her journey, she encounters Joron from the town of Sanala. Apparently, the two have a brief discussion. It seems that Alea can't buy fiefs even with Meritor in her party. After exchanging a few javelins, with Joron, the Empress moves on to root out some steppe bandits. What I've been doing most recently is just trading, trying to build up her trade skill. Not much has really happened since she gave birth. Anyway, let's have a little fight here. And I have seen a lot of Kuzite vassals down there. Will and charge. There's quite a few in this one. Well, this isn't looking very good, is it? Looks as though it's just me. No steppe bandits up here? Good. There usually aren't any over there. Oh, is that one person over there? Or is it just a bush? Looks like a bush. So I'll leave it be. This is a hard one. Up here. Good. I need to be cautious. There he is. Now jump right in and kill that one. If they all attacked me, I'd be in trouble. You're all my prisoners now. I took out 10. That was a hard one. I lost 3 people to death. 47 rescued people. Very nice. Sell these at the next town, I suppose. And I'll go over to this hideout. Of course, I'm sure you don't want to see me do that again, so I'll cut away here and come back a bit later. See you then. Shortly after rooting out the bandits around Akkalat, the Empress decides to enact a new policy. One with perhaps far-reaching consequences. The Empress enacts the Imperial Towns Policy. A ruler can grant towns special privileges based on their immediacy, special access to his or her person without going through lords or other vassals. The towns held by the ruling clan gain 1 loyalty and 1 prosperity a day. Towns held by the non-ruling clans lose some loyalty. This particular policy is quite unpopular among the nobles. Alea has to use a great amount of influence to overrule the majority in this particular matter. After the policy is enacted, the Empress decides to throw a tournament in Ortongard, in the hopes that it will lessen the blow to the nobles who so vigorously oppose this particular policy. In the end, the Empress is able to win this particular tournament. However, her victory does not lessen the blow to the nobles of her kingdom. However, despite the unpopularity of some of her decisions, the Empress's reign is largely peaceful, despite the activity of the rebels in the field. Most end up in prison for months at a time before escaping. Perhaps in her naivete, Alea hopes that the rebels will turn around to her way of thinking. But whatever the case, life goes on in the Kharadic Empire. Anyway, I have more documents to look over, so I will see you a bit later. See you then. Ah, good day, my friend. I happened to find the Empress's journal. In it, she mentions that while in Ortongard, she happens upon a Battanian named Adinea, who she decides to speak to, hoping to broker a peace between herself and King Caladog. Alea, it's been a while. So, what is it then? There's something I'd like to discuss. What are you proposing? Your liege, Caladog. Our realm should make peace. I think it would take 300,000. A little over 300,000. That's rather expensive for peace. But fine. 350,000. And there's peace with Battania. The Empress, in the end, is able to negotiate a peace with the Battanians. However, war is ultimately declared once again, for her vassals are very much in favour of wiping out the barbarians once and for all. Anyway, I've yet more documents to go over. I shall come speak to you a bit later. See you then. During the autumn of 1107, Empress Alea spends the autumn in Ortongard, or much of it at any rate. She is approached by her nephew Claudius, who's reached the age of 8 and needs her guidance. Claudius is now at an age when it is customary to assign a well-born child a tutor. You decide to entrust him to your master-at-arms, steward, artisan, scholar, huntsman, or minstrel. Claudius, having been a very gloomy boy ever since the death of both his father and mother, Alea decides to put her minstrel in charge of him. The minstrel sings and plays the lute, shawm or the veil, and chants epic poems of daring deeds and impossible romances. They're also known to show their wards a bit about the seedier side of life. Singing, dancing, and playing an instrument is important, but the minstrel knows more. You ask him to make sure the child is also skilled in charm, The minstrel frequently sings of nature and the hunt, and are often great travellers, skilled at living rough on the land. The child was encouraged to accompany the minstrel on his roamings. You don't need to know the full story of the child's escapades in the minstrel's company, but the minstrel does inform you that he shows some natural talent in charm. A silver tongue gets you far. You want Claudius to learn how to ferret out people's motivations, flatter their egos, and convince them that their interests are aligned. Anyway, I've yet more documents to pore over. I will come back to you in just a moment. See you then. Just as the Empress is about to leave Ortongard, the vassals of her kingdom propose a war against Betania. There is an overwhelming majority in favour. The Empress has little choice but to accept. Were she to refuse, she does not have the influence to, well, influence that particular decision. Not currently, at any rate. So, war is once again declared upon the Battanians. Anyway, I've more things to do, so I will come back to you a bit later. See you then. Ah, there you are, my friend. I've been looking through more documents, and during the winter of 1107, as Alea is travelling across the north in Sturgia, an issue of the peerage comes before her. A formalized ranking of aristocrats could increase the authority of those at the top. For kingdom decisions, Tier 4 clan choices have double effect. Influence cost to the ruler overriding popular decisions is doubled. The Empress is not quite in favour of this particular proposal. However, she has not the influence to oppose the nobles. So, she's no choice but to acquiesce to the whims of the nobility. In any event, I've yet more documents to go over. I'll come back to you a bit later. See you then. Ah, there you are, my friend. I've just returned from the archives. And apparently, in the year 1108, Empress Alea had formed a truce with the Sturgeons. However, this truce was of course short-lived. However, at this time she engages Grand Prince Samir outside of Varcheg. She apparently lured the Grand Prince toward Varcheg and is about to, and then engages him in battle. She gathers a mixed army, partly of recruits and partly of better troops. Her army outnumbers that of the Grand Prince. It's been a long time since I showed you guys a battle. I thought I'd try that. Mostly what I'm doing now is waiting in Varcheg while right now, my character's just waiting inside of Varcheg with her husband. I'm hoping that they'll make a child.
Footman! Spread the field!
We are definitely going to beat Grand Prince Samir. I've also given Alea a bow. I noticed she has a little bit in bow skill, and I haven't really been using a bow lately, so thought I'd give that a try.
Infantry! Onward! Soldier! Move! Infantry! Move! Horse archer! Onwards!
I'll play with them with the horse archers a bit.
Mounted movement! Move! Forward! Forward! Get moving! Forward! Movement! Move! Riders, here! Forward! Infantry! Attack! Mount guard! Horsemen! Onwards! Move! Give 'em hell!
Here come the reinforcements. Oh, this is quite a slaughter.
Riders! Onward! Horsemen! Infantry! Get moving! Footmen! Forward! So give 'em horsemen! Forward! Horse archer! Attack! Have no mounted! Engage! Infant commander!
I don't really think there's any need to hold back any longer. It's a tough archer. And we've won. Samir has died on the battlefield. How unfortunate. That's enough. And so it was that in 1108, Grand Prince Samir of Sturgia was killed in battle against Empress Alea. Leadership of the Sturgians then turned to Sever. The brother of Samir. Although by no means as skilled as his brother, by right of birth, he has thus inherited the responsibility of leading the Sturgians. However, it is unlikely that he will prove equal to the challenge. Anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. See you then!